congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Sorry to ask with an injuries question first, just tight on deadline. Do you have an update on the players who got injured this evening?
Obviously, we'll see how they pull up in the morning, but Mac went off with a HIA and then came back on, felt his calf straight away, so we got him off. James Ryan has a bit of a knock on his wrist that we need to assess more, so we'll see how he is. The James Lowe got a bang in the eye, and his eye shut and couldn't really see much, but he was his vision was coming back towards the end of the game, which is good. So, and then a few more bangs and bruises that we'll need to assess tomorrow.
Hands up, questions? Yes, gentleman here. Yep.
Hi. What was the plan with Aki and Ringrose that allowed them to create space?
The plan. That was the plan, to try and create space. Exactly that. You answered your own question there, but anyway, I thought our attack first phase wise was as good as it's been for quite some time, and our tempo of how we attacked the Scottish line was clinical, and when you're so clinical, when you've been defending how we had been defending, I suppose it's a real shot in the arm for ourselves, but a real hammer blow to a team that had been attacking really well at the start of the game. I thought that was the story of the game in the first half. We was clinical and took our chances.
A question here.
Johnny. About it as like a last 16 game. How pleased are you with the response to that from the team and how you played?
Yeah, very happy. Sometimes when you know in the back of your mind, you've got different permutations with if you get 1 point, if you get 2, if you're losing by all these different things, and we just needed to narrow the focus and say we're here to win the game and put in a performance to do that. So very happy with the lads, and we're exactly where we want to be now in terms of we won the pool, and now we're into the quarterfinal, and we always knew most likely play France or New Zealand. There's no easy option there, and now we've got New Zealand, so it'll be a very tough game. And I see that they were talking about revenge already and stuff like that, so it'll be a game they want, and we need to be ready for it.
Okay, up on the left here.
Johnny, congrats on the win. You said after the South Africa game you'd never seen anything like the Irish crowd. How special was that?
They went and proved me wrong, yeah. My brother texted me about 3 hours before the game. He was down at the stadium already, and he just said, wait till you see what it's like. He wasn't here last week. My other brother was here last week, but I took his word for it, and the lads were talking. We have a Scottish physio who told me it was going to be 50-50 crowd. I said, yeah, we'll see. So look, I said it last week, they give us some of the best days of our lives, and then it's important that we repay that with our performance and give them something to cheer about, and we definitely did that tonight. But it's all about next week now. Really, straight away, there's a last against South Africa. We knew we had 2 weeks to prepare, whereas now it's almost focused already for next week.
Yeah, question.
Johnny, with that in mind though, while not expressing any preference for who your quarterfinal opponents might be, but given you'll be playing New Zealand now instead of France, probably more green in the stadium, would that be part of the motivation for winning this pool?
Yeah, again, all our focus was let's win the pool. You don't pick and choose. You just try and do your best. But yeah, now that we do have New Zealand, it's likely that we will have more supporters there, which will hopefully give us a lift at certain times in the game. But we've played New Zealand plenty of times. They're they've come into some good form themselves over the last few weeks. So it's going to be a hell of a game, and we just need to prepare right over the next few days and make sure we get the best performance we can out there.
Okay, at the back on the left.
Andy, do you feel as if the defence has improved at this World Cup even since the Six Nations? And if so, what's been the difference?
I definitely think it has, because of the time that we spent together. We when we're preparing for a normal competition, whether it be the autumn series or the Six Nations, we have 5 sessions before we get into it, and our defence has always been strong. But when you spend, say, 15, 16 weeks together, you would expect every part of your game to get better, and it certainly has to keep doing that to keep progressing in this competition. It's no secret. Everyone says it all over the world that it's defences that wins World Cups, and it certainly won us the first half this week. That's for sure.
Okay, gentleman here on the right.
Andy, hi. Just on that, how important was that defensive set early in the first half? I think it was 18 phases. It felt like a big moment. Did it feel like that in the coach's box?
It's amazing. It's amazing because you've just got to keep doing what you know you've got to do, and it's tough at times because Scotland were threatening, throwing the ball around everywhere. But I thought our systems were strong, our contacts were strong. And it's a sickening blow when you're actually attacking really well, and we was able to keep them out and get down the other end of the field, and all of a sudden another 7 points are on the board. It's a tough one to take, but that's what top level rugby has to be all about, and it's something that we've been always striving for. And the first half performance, again, not being perfect, but that's perfect as well. That we was able to just roll with whatever was being thrown and absorb it and come back and strike at the right time. So it's very pleasing.
And Funty?
Yeah. Congratulations on a brilliant performance, lads. Andy, just at the end of the game, you stood by yourself for a couple of minutes and you looked up at the fans, just singing the different Irish songs. It looked like you were having a bit of a moment, just taking it all in.
Oh no, my wife and my 2 girls were there. That's why I was singing to them. I think it's amazing, the songs at the end of the game. I love all that. I mean, we got a bit of stick, didn't we, for walking around against South Africa? But we've walked around and thanked the fans in every game. It's the least that we can do when they turn out in the thousands like they've done. And we play for them. We talk about it every week. I talked about it before the game today in the dressing room. It means more than what people think, 100%. And I know that France is buzzing with Irish people, but I believe it's going bonkers back home. We're a bit torn a little bit between where do we want to be. Is enjoying it with the fans back home or staying here. We'll stay here for now, but we know. We know when we turn up for training on Monday, we're not just doing it for ourselves.
Okay, gentleman right at the back.
Yeah, congratulations. Before their 3 last games, New Zealand has lost against France, against South Africa, and now they face you in the quarterfinals. Do you feel like it's the good time for you to play against them right now?
No. I think New Zealand a fantastic side, and for little old Ireland to be talked about in the same bracket as the All Blacks shows that how far we've come as a rugby playing nation. But the respect that we've got for New Zealand is through the roof. The form that they've got at this moment in time is top draw, and like Johnny said before, I'm sure that they will be relishing this fixture to try and put a few things right. So it's tough. It's as tough as it gets. I mean, 2 weeks ago it was a tough game, and this one was knockout type rugby, so it gets a little bit tougher. It gets a whole lot tougher next week against the All Blacks, and hopefully they'll need to be at their best to beat us as well.
Question on the left.
Andy, it's well, congratulations on tonight. It's
Thanks.
History on the double on the line next week. It's a chance to go 18 in a row, which only 2 teams have ever done in history, and it's a chance to go further than any Irish team has ever gone before the World Cup. What makes you think this team can make history next week?
Because I don't think, and neither do the team think that we've played our best rugby yet. We know where we want to go and what we're trying to achieve. Will we ever get there? I don't know, but it's days like next week that's coming where we need to find out a little bit more about ourselves, and these lads are certainly willing to do that.
At the back. Question at the back.
Andy, just a continuation on Rory's question. Gregor Townsend just beforehand said that Ireland can dominate for the next 5 to 10 years, world rugby. How does that expectation kind of sit with you guys, and how have you learnt to handle the expectation?
We don't learn. We just go from day to day and have a realisation of where we're at, and being honest with our feedback and how we treat each other, and how we strive to try and improve each other on a daily basis. And I know that sounds cliche or a little bit boring, but it's fact. We'll analyse this game, and yes, it was a good performance, but there's plenty within that that we'll learn and be honest with, and the lads will be the first people that will come up with what we need to get better at. And there's no magic formula. It's just an appetite to try and be honest and do the right thing by the group. And what they are getting much better at is grabbing hold of what that is and what that looks like and what that feels like, and owning it during the week. And when you're owning things together as a coaching staff and a playing group, it becomes pretty powerful.
Andy, we've jumped Beachersbrook the last 2 Grand Nationals and turned for home. We had the tremendous elation of 2015. When it was beating France, everybody was really happy, and then we had the ignominy of an out half kicking the ball out of play against Japan when we're losing. Can you tell us we've 2 million people watching at home in Ireland, nearly half the population. Can you tell us what you'll be telling this team about this quarter-final, how we approach this one?
Was it 2 million this time, Derek? Was it? It was 1.5. It was. No, I'm hoping you're right as well, because it was 1.4 last week or 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? So we've. Well, yeah, magnificent. Look, I mean, first things first, we'll enjoy tonight because it was a big week for us. We know it's a big game against Scotland. Scotland are a fantastic side, and we paid them the respect that they deserve, and that's why we came out with a performance like we did in the first half. So we'll enjoy tonight. The wives and girlfriends and families are over, and we'll make sure that we enjoy that. We'll recover properly, and we'll treat this week. I'm sure once we recover properly with a spring in our step, because if you can't get excited about what's coming, this is proper living now. This is exactly where you want to be, and these boys have been waiting for opportunities, big games to show what they've learned for a while now, and it doesn't get any bigger than next week, so we'll relish that.
Okay, final question here in the front.
Johnny, congrats. Just on that, what does what you achieved in New Zealand last summer do for the confidence levels going into next week?
I think we went to New Zealand, and Andy told us he put us under the most pressure that he could find, to go on a 3-test tour, but also do the midweek games. It was to test us and to make us learn, and we learned so many lessons on that tour to take with us for the Six Nations, to win a Grand Slam, and then it's to put us in this situation again, to have to play them again. They've already said, it's one that they want, and when they're hurting and they want to prove it right, that's the biggest challenge in rugby, to try and beat them when they're in that frame of mind. So, two teams will both be under pressure for different reasons, and it'll be who copes with that the best and who can put their game out there on the biggest day when the pressure is on.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.